cybersecurity is all about networking. So definitely you are going to do networking. You're already in cybersecurity if you are doing networking. Do you understand? So you just have to know those networking basics and fundamentals. Cybersecurity is pretty easy, but like you said, it depends if you want to do it in a mediocre way. If you do it in a mediocre way, cybersecurity will deal with you too. You get, but then cybersecurity is basically just defending systems, right? So if you put in the work, like I said, you definitely get great results. We're talking about what cybersecurity is, right? And then why is it important? So basically, cybersecurity is important because we all have to protect our digital information, what we have out there. A lot of us fall victim of scams. So definitely cybersecurity is just here to protect us, right? And then in 2023, cybercrime was estimated to cost the world 8 trillion annually. So you can imagine how much cyber attacks actually cost us, cost the organization, and even the government, right? And then imagine you working a whole month and then someone logs into your bank app to steal your money. So cybersecurity is basically here to protect you from such attacks. I don't know if okay, you guys said the call is still recording, right? That's great. Okay. So I would say start with the basics, right? For cybersecurity, most times a lot of people just want to go straight into the technical stuff. Like there are some people that meet me and say, oh, I want to be a hacker, I want to be this, I want to be that. And I'm like, you want to be a hacker, but you don't know networking. You don't even know the basics of why you are hacking or why you want to go into this particular field, right? So that's why I actually created this slide to say start from the basics. So cybersecurity is basically built on these three fundamental topics we can see here, right? Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And then confidentiality basically is ensuring that information is accessible to only those that are authorized to have access to it. And then we can see it in a real life example, more like I gave an example of your bank app, right? You wouldn't want any other person to have access to that because it could just maybe transfer money if they had your PIN or something like that, or do something and you are in loss. And then integrity is basically maintaining the accuracy and completeness of data. And then I'll use our bank app again as an example. Imagine you logging in, maybe you just transferred, you had like 20,000 naira, you transferred 5,000, and then you come to your bank app and you're seeing 10,000 naira. Once you start calling the bank and like, what's going on with my money and where did the other 5,000 naira go, what's going on and stuff like that. So basically it's maintaining integrity for your data. So it means that if I transfer 5,000 naira, I must have 15,000 naira remaining and nothing less, nothing more, right? And then availability is ensuring that authorized users have access to information and associated assets when it is required. So using our bank app example again, I would say that if, for example, me, I've had issues maybe using my bank apps. I don't want to call the name of any bank here, but I know some of us have had those issues, right? So using my bank app, for example, I'll try to log in and they'll be telling me something like, oh, you can't log in, there's a current network issue, or just something that just goes on and then I don't have access. So imagine that you've gone to buy food and you cannot pay for the food. What will happen? You start washing plates at the spot where you bought the food. So definitely availability ensures that you have access to whatever resources, like your bank app, for example, like you said, when you want to use it. So that's basically what availability is. And these three things is what actually constitutes cybersecurity at the end of the day. So I'll just go straight to saying develop strong fundamentals. So like I said, a lot of people just want to start cybersecurity from the technical aspects. They don't want to do the granular work. They don't want to learned what the basics actually are. They just feel, oh, this person said they do ethical hacking or they do this and that, and then they just want to jump and start from there. It's not going to work. So I'll say start by taking like an introduction to cybersecurity course, which will provide you with foundational understanding of the basic cybersecurity principles, like the CIA triad that we just spoke about, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And then you can go ahead to like learn about endpoint security, that's securing devices like your phones, your laptops, and maybe any other device that's maybe for your personal use or that is used in an organization. They are called endpoint devices. So we have learning essentials like the TCP, IP, DNS, domain name systems, networking protocols, basically. And then we have firewalls, VPNs, encryption techniques. So I don't know, maybe some of all these words, I don't know if they are new to us, and maybe if I want me to like explain in detail, you can just let me know in the chat. I'll check that in case maybe there's any particular concept I talk about that you really don't understand. I just want to try to rush this since we were having some issues earlier and that took all the time. So we'll go ahead and learn about threats. There are a lot of threats these days, right? And then one of the common ones that maybe affects all of us is phishing. So phishing is basically when someone tries to lure you to clicking on links and divulging your sensitive information. So sometimes some of us might get SMS like, if you want to travel to Canada, just pay 5,000 naira, like something that just sounds too good to be true, right? That's what we call phishing. You basically, you know, you did not apply for any Canada travel, whatever, and someone is sending you an SMS, you just pay 5,000 and go to Canada. How? How does that even work? And then sometimes some people will fall prey based on the fact that, oh, they really want to go to Canada. They saw 5,000 naira, they'll go and pay. And then at the end of the day, the number that you sent money to is no longer picking and everything. So that's basically what phishing is about. And then we have ransomware, we have different kind of malwares, right? Ransomware is basically when maybe a hacker locks your account and then they're asking for money before they can maybe give you a decryption key to unlock your data. And then we have man-in-the-middle attacks, basically having an attacker in between maybe your device and maybe the server trying to get your credentials like your password, your usernames, and stuff like that. And then we have denial of service attacks. So using our bank example again, denial of service is just basically when you can't log in, when maybe the server is overwhelmed with too much requests, like malicious requests, and then people that are supposed to have access to that computer or have access to that device cannot have access to it. So that's what denial of service is. And then, like our sister was asking if cybersecurity deals with coding and all that. I would say no and yes at the same time, because you actually need little or no coding skills to start cybersecurity, but maybe in the long run, you can develop skills on that, right? It would help. So that's why I put the point there to gain proficiency in Windows operating system and Linux operating system to be able to like get an understanding of the different environments. Like people that do penetration testing or ethical hacking, they usually use Windows, Linux, even for incident response analysts as well, right? Basically, each and every one of us uses one operating system or the other, and you need to know how you can protect them. So you need to understand the different operating systems. Okay, so sorry about that. All right, so I'm just going to give you guys some of my study tips that I've used over time when I started my cybersecurity journey. And one of them is to set clear goals, right? You need to define what you want to achieve. Why are you coming into this field? Is this something you are passionate about? If you're passionate about it, then you need to set clear goals, because if you don't, I don't even see you lasting long in this field, right? and then break down your learning into manageable steps. You don't need to overwhelm yourself and say, oh, because I want to study cybersecurity, I have to sit down 24 hours. No, that's why I said set clear goals. For me, I usually take like maybe at least the minimum is 4 hours daily to study, right? Because cybersecurity is an ongoing field. It's not something that you just come and you just feel like, oh, I'm just going to do it anyhow and it's going to work for me. So you actually have to sit down and study. Nobody can teach you cybersecurity in a whole day. Do you get? So breaking down your learning into manageable steps is going to help a lot. And then create your study plan, mix your theoretical learning with practical exercises. I'll share some resources that could help you with that as well. And then allocate a specific time for studying. If you're a morning person, if you're a night person, just pick a particular time. If it's from 8 o'clock in the evening, I know some of us maybe might be working class people, right? So we work and at the same time you also need to study. So create time to say, oh, when I get back from work, maybe by 5 or 6, I'll rest for like 1 hour. Even if it's 1 hour daily that you used to study, is something. You don't need to go 4 hours at a stretch like me. You get, maybe me, I've built that capacity over time. But then for someone that is just starting out, I would say at least 1 hour, even if it's 30 minutes, it is still something, right? So just keep on learning and you will see how far you would go at the end of the day. So my last point here is to utilize free resources, which I'll be sharing on the next slide. All right, so these are some of the free resources that we have out there for cybersecurity, and then some of them provide hands-on training as well. A platform like Try Hack Me, people that want to do maybe ethical hacking, penetration testing, even security operations, they can use Try Hack Me. Coursera is there. We have Cisco Networking Academy. We have Hack the Box, Let's Defend, and then Udemy. So basically typing this out, maybe once you just type it on Google, you should be able to get their website and then register and start learning. It's that easy, right? And then another thing I want to say is sometimes when we come in contact with maybe very difficult concepts, some people tend to want to give up and like, oh, I'm not understanding this thing, but there are different ways of learning. You don't have to use the particular resource. They say, oh, it's what they said there. I must understand the way they said it. You have YouTube at your disposal. You even have AI at your disposal to explain to you like a 5-year-old, to explain to you in very simple terms, right? So utilize all of that and it will help. Thank you. So I don't know if anybody has questions for me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Is that all?
No.
Yes, that is all. Yes.
Okay, so my question is
I've
for me
just tried
as
to keep it really simple, right? So that you guys have the time to ask all your questions. So I don't occupy your time. So
okay.
let's go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So like I'm saying, for me, I'm starting out in cybersecurity. I've been in tech, but I just want to dive into cybersecurity, which I've been taking some courses. I'm even about writing the ISC squared CC exam. But then, what would you advise as somebody who is starting out in cybersecurity to how do I get into maybe getting jobs, or because I have an idea. I have like some very good idea in using some of those tools, Splunks and the rest, but then getting a job might, to me, I've not really started applying, but I know experience wise, most companies would be asking for some certain experiences on this particular field, but how do I start out? How do I get jobs in this area?
Okay, so I would like to know what particular career path are you on now? Can you hear me?
Cyber C.
I didn't hear you.
Said cybersecurity. Cybersecurity. Although I've been in technical support specialist, but then I'm just trying to focus on cybersecurity. So that's why I asked that question. How do I start out? How do I start working as a cybersecurity analyst? Or maybe do I need to start on a specific area of cybersecurity, maybe like incident response and detection, and how do I get experience in those areas and applying? Yeah.
Okay, so very often, most times when people get their first cybersecurity job, it may not actually be based on a particular career path or a particular domain in cybersecurity, because we have different domains. We have cloud security, we have penetration testing, that's ethical hacking as well. We have GRC, that's governance, risks, and compliance. We have security operations, like you mentioned, where we have incident response, right? So most of the time, you may not get a job that just takes you to say, okay, I'm a security operations analyst or I'm a penetration tester. The kind of jobs that are mostly available is something that is just like general. So you have to work with different teams at the same time and maybe gain knowledge before you now decide to specialize, or maybe the company might decide to say, okay, this is where we feel you have strength, stay here, right? And then you just keep on learning on the job and all that. So maybe for someone that is just starting, I don't know the specific skills you've actually built. If you have any hands-on skill experience you've done before, right? And the particular career path, like I said, is it penetration testing that you're currently doing? Are you doing threat intelligence? Are you a GRC analyst? I need to know exactly what you're doing so that I can give my advice based on that. So I don't know if you got my question. I don't know if you're speaking. I can't hear you.
Are you asking me, or it's a general question?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you. I need to know, are you
okay.
doing penetration testing currently, or you're still like on the general fundamentals of cybersecurity?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said generally, I'm just learning cybersecurity generally. Almost all the domains, I'm just getting knowledge in all those areas, learning the particular tools to learn to run operations in all those areas. But how do I now focus and how do I get a job? That's the question. Not like have a particular skills, like a section of the domains that you talked about.
Okay, how long have you been into cybersecurity?
Okay, let's just say some few months now, maybe like 4 or 5 months. Maybe.
4 or 5 months. Okay. Well, 4 or 5 months, it's a pretty great time that you've been in cybersecurity, but I would say that maybe in just 4 or 5 months, I don't think you might have covered what's the main skills that maybe employers might be looking out for, right? In whoever they are going to employ. I don't think you've gathered enough skills. So applying for a job at this point is just going to land you frustrated. And there's something I was going to talk about, and this is like general for everybody, not just answering your question, right? A lot of people come into cybersecurity because they hear there's money. It's not about the money. If you heard during my presentation, I said passion is what will keep you in this field, because there are days that you probably not feel like doing anything, but there are people that have come and they just feel like saying, oh, there's money in cybersecurity, so they want to start learning cybersecurity. And that's where they run into problems, because by the time you encounter one issue or the other, you now feel like, oh, I don't think this field is for me. Before you look, you run away. So passion is what actually keeps you here, right? And then coming back to your question, I would actually like you to pick a particular section. Since you said you've been like learning generally, right? What is that particular domain that calls out to you more, so that you can know that, okay, this is the path that I'm actually going to? Is it penetration testing? Is it security operations? Is it GRC? Is it threat intelligence? Like, pick a particular part. Do you get? Pick a particular part to say, okay, this is where I want to be, and I want to be learning the skills under this part. Then what you can do to, since you say you're looking for a job, go out there, check for job descriptions under that particular career path. Even on general, there are some general cybersecurity jobs as well that maybe picks a little of this skill and that skill. But since if you've actually been doing your homework, then it means that you have a very strong background in cybersecurity already. So that knowledge will be enough for you to get an entry level role. But then you need to pick a particular part to say, okay, a SOC analyst, and these are the skills that are needed for a SOC analyst role. And then I'm focusing on that and I have them, and you can then apply for a job. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, it does. But then most of the times, these companies will tell you how long have you been using these skills, or what are the practical knowledge or applications of this knowledge or skills that you have. Where have you worked? Where have you applied those skills? So those are the things that sometimes just get me a little bit shaky.
Okay, well, like I said, you saying you've had like 5 months in cybersecurity, like you're learning and all. You know, even me, I said that I've probably not like gathered enough skills to show employers that you are worth that job you get. So I can see someone that's asking on the chat about internships. So internships is one thing that would actually give you the skills, because most times some companies are not willing to play around with their security. Someone that is just saying, oh, I know how to do this, and they can't see any evidence of what you can do or projects you have worked on before. And then aside from internships, if you are in a cybersecurity community, you can pick, like, maybe you must have friends in the community there. You guys are like 4-3. You guys can decide to pick on projects, create your own labs, work on something together, right? Create a report about it, post about it on LinkedIn, post about it on Twitter, on your socials, like any social media platform at all. Let people know what you're doing, what you've learned and everything. So most of these things is what actually comes back to help employers see, oh, this has been this person's progress from this time to this time. Like if you go on my LinkedIn page, right, from the time I started cybersecurity, you would actually see my progress to say, oh, I learned about encryption today. Oh, I learned about this today. This was how I applied it. This was what I did. And this was what I did. You get? So at the end of the day, even when I'm applying for a job, nobody's going to say, what's your evidence? I have evidence everywhere. Do you get? Because sometimes they go to your socials to check, oh, what have you been doing? So when there's nothing there, maybe that it's just that your CV, there's no track record of, okay, this is what I've done, this is what I've done. Most of the time, it's very difficult to believe that, okay, this person has this particular skill. So internships, or if you can't get internships, pick 1 or 2 of your friends, 3 of you, even you yourself, you can work on different projects alone, but then make sure that you're actually putting it out there, that this is what you are doing, right? Make sure you post about it, keep records of all your certifications. I know some of them might be free certifications and all that, but please add them to your CV and say, oh, I was able to hack into this, I was able to defend this, this is what I was able to do, and you should get a good start from there. Please let me know if that helps you.
Thanks, it was helpful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, yeah, someone said virtual internships are good, so yes. Hi, Faith. Okay, I can hear you. I don't know who is speaking. Yeah, I know it's you. I see Faith on the chat box. Thank you for joining.
Please, I'd like to ask as to some of these courses online, like the Udemy, are they totally free, and do they give certifications as well? And then when I'm looking at actually signing up or picking courses, as a starter, what courses do you recommend that can help my tech career journey smooth or easy to navigate?
Okay.
Thank you. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So most of the platforms I've actually used, like the ones that I shared, I've used TryHackMe, I've used Cisco, I've used Let's Defend. But then maybe for like Udemy, Coursera, I've actually not used those ones before, right? Because you can't do everything at the same time. You get my point? So basically, Cisco provides you with theory and practicals as well. TryHackMe is mostly practicals. Even Let's Defend, mostly practicals, and then some theory parts. You learn a bit, and then they show you how to do it. Do you get my point? So I don't know, maybe if you want to use Udemy, I don't know if all Udemy courses are totally free, or if Coursera courses. I think some are free and some are paid for, right? And then even some of these platforms I use, some are free and then they have premium versions as well. Like TryHackMe, maybe if you want to access some resources, you have to do like maybe a subscription for like a year or a month or 3 months. The same thing with Let's Defend. So the courses I'll recommend for you, like Cisco that I've used, you can do their introduction to cybersecurity course, and then from there you go to like networking basics, networking devices, network defense, cyber threat management, and stuff like that. So you just go from there. But if it's something that maybe you might want me to direct you on, you can reach out to me personally after the call.
Yes, please. I don't mind. I'd like to reach out to you as well.
Okay.
Thank you. So,
You're welcome.
would you, how, is it, after the call you get in contact with me, or I would have to get in contact with you?
I'll just drop my LinkedIn handle in the chat box for you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So I don't know if anyone else has a question to ask. Search for field internship. Okay. HR internship. Sure. So I don't know. I'm waiting for questions. So everybody's just quiet. You guys don't want to ask questions.
I think a device, iPhone, dropped a comment
Someone dropped a comment. Okay, let me check that.
in the chat room. Yeah.
How easy is it to get internship jobs after learning about cybersecurity? Well, I would say it's very easy if you know what you're doing. To get internship is not very difficult, but you actually need to know what you are doing, right? And like I said, keep a track record. If you're not keeping tracks of whatever you've been learning or you've been doing, how do you actually prove that I can do this thing? Do you understand? Even at the same time, I know internships are to help you build your skills and everything, but at the end of the day, you need to, what are you bringing to the table? That's what I will ask. What are you bringing to the table? What's the one that you know? We know you will not know everything, but which one do you know? Right? So that's why we said keep track record of whatever you are doing. So, and if you can pitch yourself, market yourself, why not? You definitely get internships. There are a lot of internships out there. When we talk about available boot camps, I believe they are important as well. Share anyone you know that are running currently. Okay, well, most of the ones I know, most of them deal with women especially, but there's this internship I did earlier on in the year. It's basically for both male and female, side black internship. But you mostly like see them on Twitter. That's where they do like their first maybe interview, like pre-interview before the whole thing starts, right? So you mostly find them on Twitter. I'm a woman interested in those for women. Kindly share. Okay, we have the one for cyber girls. I'm currently doing cyber girls now. Then there's another one, I think women tech stars. Which other one do I know? Just give me a moment. Let me check. There are a lot of them, but if you don't follow up online most of the time, you won't get to when you're recording. Okay, just a moment, please. Cybersecurity. Okay, it seems I'm having some issues getting that up, but for like women, I already mentioned women tech stars, cyber girls fellowship, cyber is also there, but cyber is more like internship. They're not going to be teaching you, they're just going to give you tasks to work on, which will help you build your skills in return. And then the other ones I mentioned, they would actually give you more resources to read and then try to develop your skills as well. Okay, someone said Hacktails. Is Hacktails like an internship or for like a fellowship or something? Or is it a platform for learning? Oh, okay. Okay. So I don't know if any other person has a question, something else you want to talk about. Please, I'm here to answer all your questions, so please ask me.
I'm inquiring, when does one reach a stage of specializing in a field or in an option that you're interested in? Or you have to study all the aspects and then you specialize, like penetrating all those before you specialize in what you want?
Okay, so my
Because
answer to that. Okay, you're still saying something.
personally, I'm interested in GRC.
Okay. Are you done with your question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. So before you specialize on any career paths, I would like to say that cybersecurity is very interwoven, very intertwined. So definitely you would need knowledge from different domains. So that's why starting with the basics, like I said, would help, because you don't expect to just jump into a particular career path from nowhere and you don't know the basics. Most of the time, even going for interviews, it's those basic questions that we ask you. You think that someone is going to come and start asking you the technical stuff, right? But they will come and ask you those basic questions because they know that you probably not be focusing on that. So knowing your basics, having that strong foundation before moving into any career path. So that's why I mentioned those, taking like an intro course, take network defense courses, take cyber threat management, those topics just give you an idea, oh, this is what this is about. There are even courses on cloud security. You can take that as well, just to give you an idea, because most times, maybe going into a job, you might meet something else. It's not even what you've been saying, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. There are times that maybe your company might want to work on a particular project, and the project is not your specialization, that is penetration testing. So having an idea of everything, at least little bits of everything, just helps you excel in cybersecurity. So like I said, from the beginning, your foundation just has to be strong. taking those theoretical courses and then doing the hands-on as well in different career paths. And like I said, Cisco offers that. And then you can use Try Hack Me, Hack the Box, and the other ones I mentioned. I don't know if that answers your question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's okay.
Are you sure you're satisfied, or you have something else you want to ask me?
No, it's okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Someone is asking, how do you take part with the internship? Which internship exactly are you talking about? I don't know if you are there, if you can like clarify. Oh, okay. So like I said, cyber girls and the like, okay. So like I said, you actually have to like be online, though they have their like social media pages where they post their informations and everything, right? Like Cyber Girls runs for like 8 months. Cyber Girls runs for like 8 months, and then they start the application in November of every year. So like this November now, I think new applications will start for Cyber Girls for next year. So you actually have to be following them on social media to see when they post and say, oh, they're calling for applications and anything. And then you put in your application, but your application has to be very strong. For like cyber girls, they might need you to have like a little bit of knowledge, basic knowledge on cybersecurity. So you're not just going to come and tell them that you're passionate and you've not done anything about cybersecurity before. Nobody's going to look at your side, right? Even the same thing with cyber. But maybe at the end of the day, you'll be working in a team. So somehow, but it's always good when you have little foundational knowledge on what you are going in for, so that it's not something that just takes you unawares. Thank you. I'm waiting for more questions. So people don't want to ask questions. Okay. This one that everybody is quiet. I don't know why people quiet. Are you scared of me or cybersecurity? Or let me know what is actually going on. I wanted this to be a very interactive session, but everybody is quiet. I think I heard someone wanted to say something.
Hi, good afternoon. Yeah, my name is Sunday.
Hi.
So I just want to ask that, well, I appreciate your presentation. I've actually gained a lot. So is there going to be any subsequent uh, platform or meeting like this? Or this just going to be the one-off thing? Do you get what I mean? So that's my question for now.
Okay, so I think we'll just refer that question to Greg. That's the host of the meeting, right? He's the one that knows if we are going to have subsequent meetings like this. But then this kind of meeting, like I said, nobody is going to teach you cybersecurity in one day. Cybersecurity is a continuous learning field, right? You can't just come today and say, oh, I know everything. Nobody knows everything. You keep learning every day. Threats are coming up every day. So you need to learn about the new kinds of threats, how to defend against them. Cybersecurity is not just a static field. It keeps growing, it keeps growing, it keeps growing. And so that's why we need people like you to come into the field and actually, do your thing. And okay, said I was going to share my LinkedIn handle for you guys, so I'll just do that now. Just give me a moment so you guys can. Then maybe anyone that wants to reach out to me can just send a message on LinkedIn and I'll respond. Chat box. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Temidi. Oh, let me paste to everyone. Okay. So I just shared my LinkedIn handle on the chat box. So you guys can follow me, send your messages, and I'll be sure to respond to you. Please don't send me love messages. So hello dear. Let's keep it professional, please. Okay. Can we please have a cybersecurity group? Well, this will be up to Greg, but maybe I can just quickly ask him. I can just quickly ask him and see if that works for him. But then the thing is, like I said, cybersecurity is not a field that you come and play. Most of the people that have come to me to say, oh, I want you to mentor me, I want you to show me how it's done and stuff like that. By the time you give them one course to go and do now, they'll use 5 months to finish only one course. Or they will run away and I don't know where they are running to or what they are expecting, right?